Set them down. Put them away for a moment. Very talented. Okay, intro and angle. So to make an angle, we have a ray to start off with. So when you think of a ray, where else might we have heard that word ray? A ray gun? Where else? Call of Duty. Okay.
Oh,
I was thinking like sun rays, but a ray gun works. Okay. When we talk about a ray or sun rays, they start somewhere and then they keep going in one direction. So a ray gun, it starts at the gun and then it keeps going as long as it can until it hits something. But a ray is part of a line. Okay. Do your notes. It's beautiful pizza. Looks like candy corn. Part of a line with one end point. Part of a line with one end point. Okay, so if I draw that, I'm going to have one end point that it starts at. B. And then it keeps going in one direction. So instead of two arrows, it's just one arrow. It's not a segment, so it does have an arrow, it keeps going. We do need a point here to show what it's going through. So let's call that L. Okay, so that's a ray. When we talk about rays, it's really important that we are looking at how it's created, what the endpoint is. So here our endpoint is B, and it's going through L. And then I'm going to draw a ray above that, showing that it starts at B, and it goes through L. The arrow is going towards the L, or past the L. Okay, can I write this as ray LB? Is it starting at L and going through B? No, so this would not work. So if you want to write that and just kind of do an X to show yourself that that's a non-example, you can. That's a common mistake that people have with rays is they think they can just put the letters wherever they want, like they can with, because you can do that with segments. And you can do those with lines, but not with rays. Okay, let's do one more. Let's have it start at T. And this time we're going to do a little diagonal, a little slant. And we'll go through M, but it keeps going on and on and on. All right, so in this one, what would we want our array to be called? TM. Good. It starts at T, goes through M. Now, some people are really creative, and we appreciate creativity in math, but not always. If I wrote MT, some people are like, well, I could just draw it so it goes this way. No, you can't. Okay, even though this shows that it starts at T and it would go through M, and the arrow's going the other way, it's just not proper. Okay, if you do it, yeah, most mathematicians would understand what you're trying to say. But the proper way to do it is always with a right arrow, always going to the right. Okay? How are we feeling? Good? Good. All right, next we have an angle. We're actually going to define that angle. Hey, you too. Okay, angle is the space created by two rays can do that after. Oh, after. That share an endpoint. Okay, space created by two rays that share an endpoint. All right, so if I start with a ray here going from K through B, now I'm going to have another ray, but that ray is going to also start at K. But this time it's going to go through a different point like T. All right, as we work on this one, I'm going to use 3 colored pencils. So I'm going to use red, blue, and green. If you want to use red, blue, and green, you can. Just to kind of show the different parts, because we got to now talk about all the parts to this angle. All right, the first key part is what part is actually the angle. So when we talk about the angle and like the angle measure, we're literally talking about this space that's created in the middle part there. Okay? We're talking about that actual inside amount. Okay, so everyone take your blue and your yellow and create an angle out of your blue and yellow. So everyone should have a blue and a yellow. Right now we're thinking about those kind of as rays, and we're going to connect them at an endpoint. So snap those together. Okay? What? Well, just one blue and one yellow. They're supposed to have one too. You're supposed to share. Okay, so here is our angle. Right now, if I put it closer together, this is a small angle. If I open it, that's a big angle. Notice that the segments aren't changing. The blue didn't change length. The yellow didn't change length. The part that's changing between the small and the big is the space. Okay, how wide it's open. So when we talk about an angle, we're always talking about that space that's created between those parts. Okay, it's not the length of the sides, it's the space between. Okay? All right, our name for this angle. When we name an angle, you guys are not convincing me that you guys should ever sit by each other ever again.
Look at the notes, man. What are you talking about? Hey.
All right.
I got the question. Everything.
For our name, we're going to start with an angle sign, a little angle. Okay, just like how up here for array, we put that symbol above. Now the symbol comes at the beginning. And then we want to list the 3 points that come together, but we need to do it in a way that we can outline it without picking up our pencil. So for example, I could start at B, and then where would I go? K, and then T. So we always use 3 points, B, K, T, and it has to go in an order that I can outline. Okay, what would be another way to name this angle? What else could I start at? T, and then K, and B. Good. T, K, and then B. Could I do angle KBT?
No.
No. Why not?
Because they're not connected.
What doesn't connect?
B and T.
B and T. Good.
K's on the way.
Okay, K's in the way. So we always have to have it so it connects. If I was going to start at B, I'd draw it a K, I'd draw it a T. Okay, another way that we can name this is sometimes there's a little number in the inside. Let's put a little 3 there. Usually it's like if there's a picture with lots of angles and they don't want to put points on it, sometimes they'll just put the numbers in the in-between, and then we can call it angle 3. All right, our vertex. When you think of the word vertex, what do we think of? Yeah, like a vertex of a mountain would be kind of the top. We talked about vertex with parabolas last year, which is the minimum or maximum. So when our vertex, it's where the two parts come together. It's the middle point. So in this one, what is my vertex? Where do they come together? Point K. Okay, it's the middle point. You can write that if you need for that definition, because that might be on your test next Wednesday. Okay, that's the middle point. All right, and then our last part to this is we have some sides. Last part to this example. So if I name the sides, that means as I look at my angle, I'm looking at just one part and then just the other part. Okay, hey, you too. Okay. Okay, so as we look at the side, one of the sides, I'm going to use blue. I would start at K, and where does it go to? What? B. Okay, KB. But it keeps going on and on and on. So for the side, we have ray, KB. Starts at K, it goes through B. All right, our other ray, our other side, where does our other ray start at? Does it start at T and go past K? Yeah, it starts at K and it goes past T. So that naming is really important. We can't say TK, we'd have to say KT. Okay, if you need to put in parentheses there, that these are always rays, those sides. So those rays are there. The part where they connect, that vertex, should be the beginning point, because that's where they touch. Where is the vertex in the name? Always located in our names. Middle. Yeah, good, middle. Okay, but in the sides, they're the beginning, because that's where we're starting, is the middle, and then working our way out. All right, we have some key measurements we're going to talk about today. And these are just measurements that you should be able to show in your brain. You should be able to picture. You should be able to do it really quick. You could draw it really quick. These ones are ones that we use a lot. Now, when we measure that space between, we're not measuring how many feet apart because that would change based on how close or how far apart we are, how many inches. Okay, when we measure angles, what do we measure in? Degrees. Yeah, so we always measure angles in degrees. And how do we show degrees usually when we're writing? Yeah, that little circle up there, the degrees. All right, our first key measurement is going to be the whole way around. So if I have this, and I want to measure, if I start here with my yellow, and I go all the way around. Sorry, 1 second, I broke it. Okay, and I go all the way around and I end at the same point. How many degrees is it when you turn all the way around? 360. Yeah, those of you that do skateboarding or snowboarding or wakeboarding, you might know 360 means that you are going all the way around. Okay, we aren't going to show that with an angle, but that's just for us to know that 360 is all the way around. 360 degrees. Okay, so now if I have my angle, And my angle is completely flat. Everyone say hi, Miss Sebastian. Okay, here's my angle. It's open all the way, it's flat. How many degrees would a flat angle be? 180, good. It's half of that 360.
Like, you know, this is how cold my hand got carrying that down to you.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Hi guys, this is my best friend. Thanks, hi. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of teaching. If you have time later, stop by.
I'm meeting with Johnson second hour, so I...
Okay, I teach through period 3.
Okay.
Okay. You can still stop by though. Okay, 180 degrees there. Sorry, I'll zoom in. That's my best friend. She's the nicest. All right, next one we're going to talk about is a right angle. When we talk about a right angle, we're now going to take that 180 and we're going to break it in half. So now it's here. Okay, how many degrees is that right angle? 90. Now, here's 90 degrees. How do I show to my reader that this is exactly 90 degrees? Yeah, the little square. In the corner, if I see that square always means it's 90 degrees. It's a right angle. Okay, now we're going to do one more. We're going to do 45 degrees. So it's like we're going to cut that 90 degree angle and we're going to cut it in half. So I'm going to take a third leg here. I'm going to snap that on. Okay, so here's my 90. I'm going to keep that blue one there just for visualizing. And I want 45. I want to break it in the middle. So kind of imagine where you think the middle is there. It should be the same space on both sides. Okay, and that's the one that we're going to draw, this 45. So we imagine kind of a 90 degree angle. I'm going to put a little dashed line there showing that's 90 degrees. But instead of going up to 90 degrees, we're going to imagine that 45 is cutting it in the middle. Okay, that should be another angle that you should be able to draw pretty quickly without too much work, that 45 degrees. Okay, my goodness. What? Good job. All right, we have one more part today, and then we are done with notes. Okay, we're going to draw for today, and then we're going to finish our notes tomorrow. We're going to draw angle PTS so that, now when we measure an angle, this is the name of the angle. When we're actually talking about how many degrees it is, we put a little m in front. So a lowercase m angle. That tells us the measure of the angle, PTS, equals 78 degrees. Okay, so that's the last thing we're going to do today. We're going to try and make an angle that the angle is 78 degrees. So as I start, what key measurement might I start with when I think about 78, where it's located? What's it the closest to? A right angle. So I might start by looking at a right angle here. Okay. Here's my 45. That's halfway. So when I think 78, is 78 going to be closer to 90 or is 78 closer to 45? 90. So I'm going to open this orange one up so it's a little bit closer. Okay, it should be over halfway there. If you even need to add a fourth one here to show. Okay, here's 45. Here's my middle of those two, and I want a little over halfway. So I want it to be closer to that blue than that orange. Now I'm looking at my red and my yellow. Gets a little complicated there. Okay, we're just estimating. We're not going to take out a protractor here and actually do it. But, so I have like this going this way. And then right about here. Okay, we need to label this angle. So there's 3 points, 1 point in the middle. Which point is going to be my vertex? P, T, or S? Why is T going to be the vertex?
Sorry.
It's the middle point.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Good. Which one is, does it matter which one is P and which one is S? Nope. Can be either one. And then for our reader, we're going to put that number, 78 degrees, in that middle so that they know. All right. Please gather your materials, put your color pencils, put things back in the bin. These ang legs, put in a nice pile on your desk. If you can disconnect them, I would appreciate that. Okay, we have 2 minutes here, about 90 seconds until